Choosing the right approach for any situation as it relates to leadership is very essential. Hello, everyone. My name is Princess Dahlia Godfrey, and this is my briefing on Crimson Tide. First of all, I'd like to say what a phenomenal movie this was. It's exceptional, highly extraordinary, a very outstanding movie. Producers came together and they collaborated, great actors, but especially they brought two fascinating actors to the screen, Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman, and they were fascinating to watch. It was a highly intensive movie, and I enjoyed watching it before and now doing it again for this course. I'd like to talk about three things in my briefing. First, I'd like to talk about the two characters that were portrayed and the leadership style that they portrayed in this movie. Then I'd like to talk about the kind of leadership style I'd like to emulate and why. And then lastly, I'd like to talk about Kelly's followership typology. So let's start with Captain Ramsey. Captain Ramsey obviously had history in the Navy. He was one who has been with them for many years. Obviously is result driven. That's why he was given this task, a great task to take the men to sea because of a potential war that may break out. And so I'd like to talk about his the genesis of his relationship with Denzel Washington, who played Exo Hunter. You saw in the beginning that his leadership style started to surface. Here sat before him was an intelligent, very smart young man, a new breed of leader coming before him, Harvard educated, if you will, sat before him. And as you look through his paperwork, he tried to intimidate him by insinuating that he was selected from a very short list of lieutenants. And you also saw that same leadership style coming out as all the leaders of the Navy sat together at dinner, and he tried to up-talk him in conversation. Didn't have an answer at the very end when he asked Denzel who is the enemy of war, and he said the war is the enemy. The enemy of war is war itself. So, and then at that point, you saw more of his leadership style surfacing. He was very dogmatic in conversation. He was very determined to show that he was the one in charge. So he had this autocratic leadership style. And so you see that even so much more when the fire broke out in the kitchen. In the moment when it could be a dangerous situation, on one hand, you had the leader who is an autocratic leader making a decision in the midst of fire to call a drill. On the other hand, Exo Hunter, played by Denzel Washington, was more concerned about the well-being of the men. Was anybody hurt? Was the fire contained? He was down there in the kitchen in the middle of everything, ensuring that everyone was okay. But Captain Ramsey, on the other hand, decided to call a drill, without consulting anyone. And that's the kind of leadership that style that he used, one that makes decision on his own. No one's opinion is important. It is his way or no way else. Now, Denzel Washington, who played Exo Hunter, on the other hand, portrayed a democratic style of a leader. It was more participative. He engaged others. It was more collaborative. He allowed others to have opinions, and their creative styles were able to be injected in decision making, even though he made the final decision, which is what a democratic leader does. He allowed the others to be a part of the decision making. Now, as it relates to point two of my presentation, the kind of leader that I would like to be would definitely be a democratic leader. I think I have those characteristics even now as I work on my day-to-day job. I work with a boss that I believe is very dogmatic in style, and I'm the softer side of who she is. I believe that I'd like to continue to portray that leadership style because I get more results when I allow my team members to participate. I get more cooperation. I get them, they're always eager to show their creative style. And even though we make the final decision, with them participating and being a part of the journey of the process and getting to the end result, it brings more collaboration. And that's why I enjoy engaging that kind of leadership style on my team at work on a day-to-day basis. The third point I'd like to share is the Kelly's followership typology. And I'd like to depict or talk about one particular scene in the movie Crimson Tide. That was right during the explosive engagement with Captain Ramsey and XO Hunter. One was screaming mutiny, the other one was saying you're going against Army regulation, and they were going back and forth, and it was an explosive moment. And in that moment, they're both calling for the captain of the boat to make a decision. And he portrayed the followership of an alienated follower, which means that he was independent in his thinking. He did not side with any of the leaders. He thought about the decision in the moment, and he made the decision according to what he knew was right. And so I would like to project him as an alienated followership. So today I talked about 3 points. I shared with you both leadership style of the characters that were portrayed in the movie Crimson Tide. Captain Ramsey as an autocratic leader, and Denzel Washington played XO Hunter, and he portrayed a democratic leader. And I told you that the leader that I'd like to emulate would be a democratic leader, and I told you why, because I know that there will be more results. And finally, I shared with you the Kelly followership typology. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope to benefit from it in the future. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.